Hey everyone, today we'll be drawing this artwork using my favorite Symmetry tool. Select the wrench icon next to gallery in the top left corner. Choose canvas. Switch on the toggle button for drawing guide. That will activate edit drawing guide. Select that. We'll select Symmetry, which is the last option, and set the opacity and thickness to max. We can even change the guideline color by sliding the slider, and once you're happy with the color, press done. Now, our symmetry guideline is active. Let's select an orange color and draw a diagonal line on the left side of the line. You will see that Procreate will create a mirror image of that line on the right side because the symmetry guideline is active. Let's drag the color in the shape and fill it. Now, tap on layers and add a layer. Tap on the square on the layer and select clipping mask. Once clipping mask is selected, select brown color and go to brush, charcoal and 4B compressed. Now let's add some shading. I'm keeping the pressure more towards the edges and less away from the edges. Clipping mask creates a mask for the base layer, which means that when I'll paint, the paint won't go beyond the boundaries of the shape or the elements of the base layer. Now I have added a new layer and switched to technical pen again. Now tap on the layer and tap on the square. Select drawing assist to make sure that the symmetry is active. Now I have drawn this curved line and we'll just drag the color to fill in. It didn't fill, so I'm just filling it manually. Once we're done with this, we'll repeat the process of adding a new layer, selecting clipping mask, selecting a darker shade for brown, and then adding shading with the charcoal brush 4B compressed. Just like we picked a darker color and created shadows using clipping mask, we can also add highlights using a lighter shade. So go to layers, select the initial clipping mask layer, pick the orange color, open color and select a lighter shade. Now on the same layer we can add some highlights too, so I'm just doing that. I think I'm happy with how this looks. Now let's go to layers and right swipe on all the layers, which will help us to select multiple layers. And now let's click on group and group these layers. Now add one more layer. We'll draw the water now. So I'm going to change the color to blue and we'll draw the line for water. We forgot to switch on the drawing assist, so let's go to layers and tap on the layer and select drawing assist so that we get our symmetry drawing. I'll also go to the brush and change my brush to technical pen. Now we'll draw the line for water. I think I can make it a bit above, so I'll just draw that and fill it. So let's fill both these sections. Our boat is hidden because we have drawn the water on the above layer, so let's just drag that below so that our boat is visible. Now we'll add a layer above the layer of the ocean and select clipping mask. This time, instead of selecting a charcoal brush, let's go for a wave brush. So I've selected a darker shade and I'm going in elements and selecting ocean, and I'm just going to vary the pressure and color it. Now you see I haven't selected drawing assist for this layer, that's why it's not working. But now I'm selecting white color and I'm selecting drawing assist as well. So now there will be symmetry. So now we are done with the second element in our drawing, which is the ocean. Let's go to adjustment icon, which is next to the wrench tool, and reduce the opacity by sliding it towards the left side. So I'm happy with this opacity. Let's select a charcoal brush again and a darker shade, only to add that texture near the edges of the water body, because I think that will just make sure that we have used that texture throughout. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. And now I'm adding the same shade below the boat on the water layer to show some shadows and make the boat stand out more. So let's just shade there as well. So now we are done with the water body, ocean, sea, whatever you want to call it, and the boat, and we can move forward to our next element, which is the island. So I have grouped the water elements as well and added a new layer and dragged it below the water layer. Now I'm selecting the color I want for the island or the beach. Let's go with this color. You can take a screenshot of the final drawing and pick the colors if you want to use the same colors, or you have the freedom to use other colors as well. So I have just made the line on the left side and filled this. Symmetry is active. Let's go to our layers and select the water group, tap on it and flatten it. Now that we have flattened it, select eraser and select soft soft brush, okay, in the airbrush category, and I'm just going to erase it near the edges, and I'm going to lower the opacity and erase it further away from the edges as well, so that it looks more natural. I'll speed up this tiny part of the video where I'm going to select a darker shade and the charcoal brush and add the texture using clipping mask, which we have done quite a few times now. So let's see how it looks after it's done. I plan to color the remaining white part in blue, but I changed my mind and colored it with a similar shade as the sand, and now I'm going to smudge it with the original sand layer. So I'll just go to the smudge tool next to the brush tool and select charcoal and 4B compressed for smudging it, and then 2 layers, and I'll select all the 3 beach layers by swiping right on them, and then I'll flatten it. Now I'm smudging the lines with the charcoal brush and I think it looks great. So we already kind of have an artwork here and we can add some more details in it. So let's do that. Let's go to the actions tool, canvas, edit drawing guide. When we selected symmetry guideline, it was in the center of the canvas by default, but we can also rotate the guideline and change the position. We can rotate it by using the green circle at the top and position it by long pressing it and dragging it to the position where we want it. So I have done that. I have made the guideline diagonal now and shifted it to the right, and I'm going to select the inking pen and draw a shell. So as you can see, I'm just making a diagonal line and a straight line and coloring it, and I'm selecting one shade lighter because I'm making this shell. So you can do the same thing, just select different colors and make some seashells. I made this and I'll make one more. After making the shells, I selected white and I added some highlights. So you can add highlights as well, and then I selected the transform tool, which is the arrow tool, and scaled them down, changed their placement, rotated them. So you can also play with the elements and even change their colors, try different colors. So I erased the third shell which I had made. Now I have 2 shells and I changed the placement again, and I duplicated that layer so that I have 4 shells, and I added shadows below the shell and also in the shell drawing like we were doing earlier using clipping mask to add more depth in the drawing. Since I copied the shell layer, both of them are in the same color, so I selected one of the shells using the selection tool, and then I went to adjustments and changed the hue, which means the color, so that I can have it in different color. Now I'm going to draw the other elements, so I'm just going to shift our guideline to the left side diagonally. We'll add a new layer and go to the actions tool again and select canvas, edit drawing guide. We'll rotate it using the green marker and press it using the blue dot and change the position. Now I'm going to draw a starfish. I'm going to speed this process up. I have used clipping mask to color the starfish. I've also drawn some other elements like sunglasses and sand shovel I hope you keep creating and enjoying this process. So let's see how it looks once it's done. I think it looks pretty good. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I would also love to hear from you in the comment section below. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.